was just 12 years old when I first saw the incredible Victoria's Secret fashion show. Yes, I'm talking about that event with its amazing performances and gorgeous models going down the runway. That show was a fantasy for many males, but for many young girls like me, it was an aspirational dream. The possibility of one day walking those same runways. This experience was a turning point that allowed me to understand the social pressures related to beauty standards, the search for perfection, and the complexity of the fashion world. Imagine a young girl surfing the internet, desperately searching for miracle weight loss diets, consulting lists of allowed and forbidden foods, and subjecting herself to an exhaustive exercise regimen for hours on end. That young girl was me. As a result of this obsession for achieving unrealistic standards of beauty, I developed an eating disorder that nearly cost me my life. Even though I was already at a healthy weight, I let myself get caught up in what society thinks is beautiful. I tried to be perfect without realizing how much harm I was causing to myself. It's time to flip through the pages of this glossy magazine and explore the other side of the fashion industry. The power of social media and advertising in the fashion industry is undeniable. Media images and advertising campaigns contribute to idealizing an unreal beauty setting and also unattainable standards. When we go on Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok, we see a lot of pictures and videos of really beautiful women with perfect smiles and seemingly perfect lives. We frequently find ourselves making comparisons between these idealized images and how we look, which can lead to feelings of insufficiency and self-criticism. According to the 2020 article, The Power of Social Media in Fashion Advertising by the College of Communications DePaul University in Chicago, the younger generation in particular are more vulnerable to the continual barrage of idealized images and messages. Advertising campaigns and models on social media are often the main influence of them, as they look for role models and ways to define their own identity. Now, let's move on to explore the psychological repercussions of striving for perfection in terms of beauty. Body dysmorphia is an obsessive compulsive disorder in which a person worries excessively about major flaws in their physical appearance. They spend at least an hour a day thinking about these supposed defects, which are minor or non-existent, and which others barely notice, if all. This worry often focuses on specific parts of the body such as the face, weight, or body shape. According to the PsychologyToday.com article, more than 2.5% of female population in the United States suffers from body dysmorphia, while approximately 2.2% of men also experience this disorder. Moreover, according to the International Journal of Education and Psychological Research article, body image dissatisfaction in young adults impacts of social media use. Body dysmorphia is not the only consequence of the impact of beauty stereotypes on mental health. Dissatisfaction with body image can trigger a range of mental health problems, including depression, anxiety, and social isolation. Beauty stereotypes can also cause eating disorders like anorexia and bulimia and make us feel less confident and happy. From an outsider's perspective, the world of fashion appears as a realm filled with glamour, photo shoots, and captivating runway shows. It sounds tempting, doesn't it? Reality inversely differs from this perception. The insistence on a standard that promotes extreme thinness and the idea of beauty neglects the representation of real bodies and diversity. The fashion industry narrows an idea of beauty and limits the opportunities of models of different sizes and shapes, and makes many people feel left out and unhappy with their bodies. But some brands are starting to change this by promoting more inclusion and diversity. According to Elle magazine, last Fashion Week's runway shows saw a noticeable increase in the representation of different body types, ethnicities, and genders. Fashion brands are starting to feature more diverse models on their runways, responding to social pressures for real-world representation. However, there is still a long way to go. We need more diversity in all parts of the fashion industry. It's important to tackle issues like misleading ads and too much Photoshop, which create unrealistic standards. Also, stores should stop excluding certain sizes as this only contributes to the marginalization of those who do not conform to conventional standards of beauty. If the fashion industry has not yet reached this level of inclusion and representation, what can we as consumers do? According to the 2024 article from the blog betterup.com, what self-love truly means and ways to cultivate it, we need to start questioning and examining the beauty standards we see, understanding that a lot of these images are digitally altered and do not represent reality. Also, we must adopt self-care practices that focuses on mental and emotional well-being over physical appearance. Recognizing our value as individuals and learning to accept and love ourselves as we are can be challenging, especially when our internal insecurities clash with society's external pressure to look perfect. However, we must accept and love and care for our bodies as it provides us with the ability to perform our daily activities. We must embrace our difference and uniqueness as it's precisely these characteristics that distinguish us from others. It is important to understand that self-love is not selfishness, but a way of cultivating a healthy relationship with ourselves. In conclusion, these stereotypes and canons of beauty imposed by the fashion industry and perpetuated by society represents a significant challenge to our perception of ourselves and our mental health. Now, in my 20s, my perspective has changed, and I have matured. If I had the chance to go back in time, I would tell that 12-year-old girl that the suffering and constant demands are not worth it. Sadly, we live in a superficial society, and beauty is often interpreted as a privilege and associated with better treatment. But I want to convey a message to all the women who have ever felt insufficient. Beauty is not a competition based on who is more skinny, who has the perfect hair, or a flawless face. True beauty resides in each of us. It's time to go out in the world and show our radiance, our personality, and our authenticity. In the end, beauty is external. It might fade, but what we carry inside, our uniqueness, endures forever. Thank you.